Hello there.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to my show. Thank you for following me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what first got you into music?
I played music from an early age, and around the time I was 8 years old, I started writing songs, and I just kind of stuck with it. And all the way through college, I majored in music, and now I play music professionally.
Well, that's awesome. And who inspired you to make music?
Um, rock bands, and I grew up in I grew up my dad is a pastor, and so like I grew up playing lots of church music, and so I was just always surrounded by it. And Disney Channel used to have these special concerts where they would bring kids in to play, and there was a young violinist named Vanessa May who
Okay.
came to play, and I saw that when I was around 8 or 9 years old, and I decided I have to learn how to play the violin after I saw that on the Disney Channel. So that really inspired me too.
Amazing. Let's talk about the music of Lazarus. It's on
Yeah,
YouTube, it's on your Instagram page. What made you make that music, and what is the story about?
that's a great question. So Lazarus uses a lot of biblical imagery, and that comes from my childhood of just being told all these stories, and I love the using those in a metaphorical sense,
Hmm.
and kind of like the whole idea of raising from the dead. And the story of Lazarus is that he died and then he got raised from the dead. And so the story is about the character is going through this situation where they were in a relationship. They probably ruined it, but they're coming out of it, more sober, more clear minded, and they're kind of like raising up the dead stuff inside of them. And that was kind of what inspired it.
I just love the music.
Oh,
It's
thank
so
you.
touching. It's very acoustic, very touching music, and relaxing. I've seen it a couple of times, maybe 4 or 5 times, and I still watch it on YouTube. Um,
Awesome.
you're welcome. So, how long did it take you to film, and then how did you get all those cool camera angles? And did it take like how many days to get it all that to get the cameras and the sets and all that stuff?
Well, I've produced three short films, and I've composed for a lot of films. And so I'm familiar with like how the film process works on a small indie budget kind of a thing. And
Hmm.
so my friend Jonathan Wynn directed it. He's a super talented director, cinematographer. And I asked him, do you like this song and would you like to be a part of it? And he's like, yeah, I love it. Let's do it. So we went to City Park in New Orleans, to the Couturier Forest area. And we actually shot that in, I think, around 4 hours. And
Okay.
the actors were so talented, Liz and Emily. They did such a great job. They made it really easy, and we just kind of wandered around, and like we had a general story in mind that we were building up to. But yeah, we shot that in 4 hours, and then we were done.
Amazing. And of course, the music and the scenes and all that stuff. And it was just amazing, the flowers and the story about it. It was just incredible. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So, and then what is do you have a dream or a future? Do you have anybody that you want to calibrate with, the music with, to sing with you?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have anybody in particular. I love to collaborate with lots of different people. Um, I just co-wrote a song a while back ago. It's been a little bit. No, when did I do that? Nah, never mind. But I uh, I love to collaborate with different artists, and that's what kind of attracted me to film music so much. Is I love working with directors and producers and lots of team members and ideas. Um, but that's a really good question. I don't have anybody in particular that I would like to collaborate with. Maybe Bella Fleck.
Okay,
Maybe that would be cool. Somebody like
that's a
that.
good one.
Chris Thiele.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of guys. Those cats. I like them a lot.
Amazing. And then how would you describe the music that you typically create?
Um, I would call it cinematic folk.
Hmm.
Just kind of that. I think that's what I would call it.
Okay, okay. And I noticed Rachel works with you.
Yeah, Rachel is great. I love Rachel.
She's been on my show a couple of times.
Awesome.
She's a great director.
So
Um,
talented.
she's the one yeah, she's the one who told me about your music. She shared it on your story, and I checked
Okay.
it out, and it gave me goosebumps. My hairs were sticking out. Again, Lazarus. That was a really good music. It was a good voice.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Where do you see yourself in 5 years in the music industry, or an acting industry, or producing industry?
Yeah. Well, I love arts entrepreneurship, and I love thinking of myself as a business in the sense of like Joel Wilson is the product or the
Hmm.
business, and the business has a couple of products. And so some of the things I do is film work. I also do a lot of songwriting. I do session work quite a bit for on the violin for lots of different artists. Um, yeah, and so I just see myself growing that and continue to do more and more of that. And I have a new EP coming out in a couple of months called A Portrait of Luminescence, and
Hmm.
I'm really excited about that. And yeah,
Amazing. I can't wait. And do you have music on Spotify or Pandora, or not yet?
Spotify, I'm on there. You can look me up on Joel Wilson, and Wilson is with two L's, so Willson, and you'll find me.
Definitely. Anybody watching that, go check him out, support him. And what's your favorite song that you performed so far?
Oh man, my favorite song. Ooh, that's hard. I love to improvise, and so I love the moments in between the songs the most. I have a loop pedal, and I usually do loops with my acoustic guitar and violin, and that's what I like to do.
Okay. And is there another potential you're going to do Lazarus number two, or no?
That's a good point. I probably won't do Lazarus number two, but that is a theme. Like raising the dead inside of us is a theme
Hmm.
that keeps on coming up with me. So, so it might pop up again.
Have to ask you again when that comes out to ask you what about that music. And what's the best advice that you ever got?
Oh man, um, I was so there's a couple of things. I went to LSU. I studied violin there. Got a great education. And Philip Glass, the composer, came, and I asked him what was the best advice you could give a young composer. He thought for a moment, then he said, "Study counterpoint." So I think if you're going to write music, study counterpoint is a practical thing. I would highly recommend that. And then you know, I the it's about the journey, not the destination. Those kinds of advice that's helpful a lot. I tend to get frustrated when I hit a wall, but the older I get, I realize that problems are just they come right before a solution.
Hmm.
And so when you're getting frustrated with your career, or you're getting frustrated with whatever the song you're working on, don't stop.
Right.
You really got to press in and don't quit. So many people quit making music, and it's sad. But if you
I
stick with
agree.
it, if you stick with your art and you push through, you can really make something beautiful, and you're going to be more happy in the end.
100%. That's a good advice. I totally agree with you. Just a curiosity, do you see yourself potentially moving to Nashville to potentially make the next step in your music industry? Or do you see yourself staying in New Orleans? Do you see yourself going to New York or Los Angeles?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I wonder that quite a bit. I'm not sure. I like New Orleans, and New Orleans has been really good to me, and I've made a lot of really good friends and collaborators here. So I see myself in New Orleans for a little while, but as opportunities open up, I'm looking into those three places to
Where would
see.
you? Oh, pardon me. Where would you go out of those three places?
If I had to pick today, I would pick LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. And
but
why is that? Why would you pick? I mean, I love LA. No,
mhm.
nothing bad about that. But why would you pick LA out of Nashville, the music city?
I feel like I feel like LA is a little bit more open and experimental,
Mm-hmm.
and they also have a lot more film music there. Although Nashville's
Very
catching
true.
up, they're doing some stuff in Nashville. They just opened up the chapter. I'm a member of the Society of Lyricists and Composers, the
Mm-hmm.
SCL, and they just opened up a chapter in Nashville, so I'm very excited about that. But so Nashville has got a lot of really great stuff going on. But just because of the film community that's in LA, I would pick that. But man, the cost of living's so high. I have three boys, and my wife has a business, and so we're pretty rooted in New Orleans. But I'm open to big things happening.
Well, that's true. Now, since I was going to ask you about your kids, if you had kids, but you already answered the question for me. Is your kids, your boys, are they into music as well? Are they acting, or just they're not into it, or
Well, they're into video games mostly. But they're very much into music. We're getting them started with music lessons pretty soon. I tried to teach them for a little while, and I was like, it would be better coming from somebody else. So,
right?
yeah, and they also act. They've been in a couple of short film projects that I've been
Mm-hmm.
involved with. So, yeah.
Amazing. Now, like Rachel's had on our Instagram story, she has pictures of you doing the violin by the ocean, and
Yeah.
so it's amazing all the stuff she's doing. I love Rachel, and I want to meet her in real life. But I'm sorry, my mind went blank talking about Rachel and you. But do you have any potential or any upcoming music that is coming out? Any new releases?
Yeah, so that those photos were from a music video that Rachel actually directed and shot. And so that'll be coming out in probably late September or October.
And follow up, is that going to be on YouTube?
Yes, absolutely.
And are you gonna? Were you singing as well, or just the music
I'm doing violin, guitar, and singing.
in that video?
Yeah,
And you're gonna tell us what it's about, or is it just a surprise? We have to wait.
sure. It's a song called Elijah, and it's a kind of like an intense subject matter, but it's about my experience with miscarriage. And
Mm-hmm.
so we had a miscarriage around 10 years ago, and I never emotionally processed through it until a lot later on. I was sitting and playing guitar, and I felt this like voice calling to me, and I heard this song, and I started to write the song Elijah, and it's how I processed through the grief of that. And so then that song was kind of born,
Wow,
and that
powerful.
that tied into Rachel's movie Four on the Mantle that I scored the music for, and that's also about the same subject matter. And so I told her this story, and she was cool with putting actually some of the themes from the song into the movie. And so that story kind of, I don't know, it got a little bit of life from collaborating with her, and I was really happy with that.
Wow, powerful. Again, I'm so sorry about the miscarriage.
Oh, thank you.
You're
A
very
lot of people
welcome.
go a lot of people go through that, and I hope that the song and the short film that we did opens up conversations for people to be able to process through their grief.
Right, I totally understand. That is a tough topic, tongue twisting, tough topic to talk about.
Right.
And again, I do apologize about that. And I do remember Rachel when she came on my show. She did talk about the film that she was working on.
Hmm.
And I believe Jeremy was in that film as well.
Yeah, Jeremy's in it
Just
too. You know everybody.
well, I know a lot. And then Gracie, you know Gracie, right?
Do I know Gracie? I think I do. I don't know
She
Gracie
hasn't been
as
on my
well.
show yet, but
Okay.
yeah. Um, but she's in New Orleans. But yes, Rachel and Jeremy's been on my show, but they both talked about that film actually. And then Rachel and
Yeah.
Jeremy was on the film, and it's just how it's like how the tough topic about it,
Hmm.
about this miscarriage and all that stuff. So it's very important to talk about it. You know,
Absolutely.
for me, it's my very important topic to talk about is suicide prevention. I've
Hmm.
lost 3 friends from suicide.
Wow. I'm
So
so sorry.
yeah, and so I'm an anti-suicide prevention person, but it's very important to talk about stuff like this to spread awareness, and people can open up. You know, and I'm not afraid to admit it right now, but I do suffer depression. But
Yeah.
you know, and the music, like your music, and we gotta talk about stuff like this. It's okay to talk about miscarriage. It's okay to talk about depression. It's okay to talk
Yeah.
about stuff that you're going through. And music actually helps people um, express their feelings, but also it helps people calm down. And it also, I don't know how to describe it in the right wording,
It's
but
therapy almost.
that's what I'm trying to say. It is therapy.
Yeah.
You can sit in a room and turn off the light and close your eyes and meditate, and you're thinking the words of the song, and you're like, wow, it's healing. It is really healing. Music is healing. If we didn't have music, then we don't know how we're gonna heal, right? Or
Right.
how we're gonna heal if there's no music, right? And that's why music is very important because it helps us heal our mind and our body. So that's
Absolutely.
that's that's my point.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Right. So thank you. Do you have any other hidden talents that nobody knows about you other than singing and violin and acting and
I like working with kids.
hmm
I teach quite a bit, and I'm actually doing Disney songs at a children's hospital this Saturday. So
amazing.
yeah, so I love working with kids as much as I can. Yeah.
And rewind a little bit. What age did you start singing again?
Around 8.
And was it, and I think I already asked you, but I'm going to ask you again. Was it a passion for you to sing?
Yes.
And what made you um, decide that you wanted to sing? Was there somebody that inspired you, that who you saw, or a music?
Um, it was a couple of different things, but I think I just had the internal drive, and I just latched on to me. And music is kind of how I processed a lot of things, and so I kept returning to it over and over again. But yeah, it just
Amazing.
was like an internal thing. I mentioned Vanessa Mae before. There was a singer named Kevin Prosh that I used to be really into that inspired me, and then
Mm-hmm.
just some local people.
Right.
I was taking Barry and Michelle Patterson, or another group that really inspired me. They let me go on tour with them to I think we went to Mississippi. Maybe it was somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else when I was around 13. That was really nice of them to
Wow, that's
take me
really
on that,
cool.
and it was a
Yeah.
great experience. Yeah, so
Wow.
stuff like that kept happening. I had a great violin teacher in high school. I had great teachers in college, and so I just kept it up.
Amazing. If you could meet any famous actor or magician, and you could have lunch or dinner or breakfast with them, who would it be?
I think I would love to meet Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I think he
And
would
why?
be.
Go ahead. I was going to ask you why is that, but
I think his music is groundbreaking,
mm-hmm.
and it's something. Uh, I don't know. I think it's genius. I think it's just incredible, and I think a lot of hip hop artists don't get the credit for how innovative they are and how they've
Very true.
influenced other types of music.
I
I
totally
think
agree with you.
they've done things that have changed music, and they don't always get the credit for the cross genre influences. But like his music has influenced me quite a bit, even though I'm more like in the folk indie rock genre. It's completely different. But yeah, I would love to hang with Kendrick.
That's awesome. I totally agree with you. I like his music. I really do. Um, so do you mind singing Lazarus live?
Sure, I can sing Lazarus. I have my guitar here. Can you hear it okay?
Yes, I can.
Let me pull up. Just a second.
No problem. Take your time.
Can you hear?
Yep, I can hear. I'm ready whenever you are.
Lights and frames, your words in caption as we go out in the rain. Soundscapes and simulations go live in my sunken brain. Lazarus, you raise up the dead inside of me. All my faults are buried beneath the willow tree. Lazarus, you're raising up the dead inside of me. I was blind, but now I see. Wandering tides, knotted in lies we held close to breathe. She said she loved me, but she couldn't forgive me. So she's gonna leave. Lazarus, you're raising up the dead inside of me. All my faults are buried beneath the willow tree. Lazarus, you're raising up the dead inside of me. I was blind, but now I see. Oh, 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 Lazarus. Oh, 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 Lazarus. I was blind, but now I see.
Really good. Sorry, tears came in my eyes. Uh, it's really good. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's cool.
Sorry. That music is very powerful. I don't usually cry on my live show. Um, sorry. It's really good. Don't usually cry. It's really good. It's a really good song. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me come on and play it.
I appreciate you. And I can't wait for whatever is happening for you. And so, are you originally from New Orleans, right?
Originally from Baton Rouge, and I've been in New Orleans for around 5 years.
Okay. So, what's the fun thing to do in New Orleans?
Oh man, there's always fun stuff to do in New Orleans. There's just lots of festivals and lots of cool people and lots of coffee shops and independent bookstores, and that's what I do.
And then, of course, Mardi Gras.
Mardi
Rachel and I get
Gras.
into this. That Alabama people say it started in Mobile, but Rachel said this started in Mardi Gras, right?
Yeah, I'm not an expert in all that. I just know I like it.
Yes, I totally agree. Again, thank you for coming on my show.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Sorry, my tears came out.
No, that's great.
Um,
That happens a lot with my music. That
the
means it's
music,
resonating. Yeah.
Lazarus, I loved it. Um, Thank you for playing it on my live show. And I can't wait to have you back
Yeah,
on my
absolutely.
show. And number one, thank you for following me. It means a lot. And number two, thank you for coming on my show. Number three, thank you for singing. And I can't wait to have you back. Let's stay in touch.
Absolutely. Let's stay in touch. This was great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, you have a great night. And again, thank you for singing.
Yeah, absolutely. It
And
was
I
my
can't
pleasure.
wait for the next song that you're going to sing on my show.
All right. Keep an eye out. September, end of September, early October. It'll be out.
That's when I'll have you back. We'll stay in touch for sure. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon. All
All
right.
right.